This is Dolores Cannon with the Metaphysical Hour, and we've got another guest tonight. But before we go, I want to give out our toll-free number. The toll-free number to call in is 877-876-5227. 877-876-5227. And that number is toll-free all over the world. Anyone or anywhere can call in. But we usually don't get a lot of call-ins. I guess on my show, people get so involved in just listening. But if you're out there and you want to talk to our guest tonight, you're welcome to call in. Okay. I know you're listening because I get emails from all over the world. So I was really amazed that people are tuning into this everywhere. All right, our special guest tonight is Pate. Now, she's been on the show before, and if anyone wants to download the other show that we did, it's in the archives, and the archives are free to download. That's one thing good about this BBS Radio. They don't charge for downloading any of the shows in the archives. Now, Pate has her association, which is called the Pate Psychic Center in Little Rock. But we are old friends. We go back to many, many years.
Oh, yeah.
And when she was on the show before, she was telling me about some very interesting things in her life, and then we began to take a whole new direction, and we ran out of time. So I knew I was going to have her back on so we could explore the other direction. Okay, but first, Carol, let's refresh the little bit about yourself, the ones that haven't heard the other show.
Okay. Basically, I've been on Psychic Detective on Court TV. I've done 6 shows to date, getting ready to do apparently 2 more.
There'll be 8 altogether, won't it?
So far,
That's the Psychic Detective show, isn't it?
Yes, that's on Court TV. And the most recent one shown was July the 5th. And prior to that, I've done a number of other television shows as well. Larry King Live, also Psychic Witness, which I believe is on the Learning Channel and sometimes Discovery Channel.
Unsolved Mysteries.
Unsolved Mysteries, yeah. A lot of television shows. And I work with murder cases worldwide, readings worldwide. I've now become internationally known. And it's been very, very rewarding.
Well, I know I've known you so long, but you said you have always had psychic abilities even from childhood, haven't you?
Yes. As a matter of fact, I worked my first murder case with the police when I was 12 years old. And it was a missing classmate. And they came to me, and I was able to touch into his photograph, which they handed me. And I told them that he had been accidentally shot by another boy while on a hunting trip, and where his body was located, and that's exactly what happened.
Well, back then, was this surprising to you, this ability, or was it shocking in any way? At such a young age.
In all honesty, Dolores, I really didn't know how to react. It just happened. It didn't really scare me. I just didn't know I could do it, and I don't know that I reacted one way or the other. I think, a little shocked.
It kind of like it was just natural for you to do it?
Yes. It was very natural, and I'd been doing that sort of thing, not with the police, but from the time I started talking. So,
I bet you shocked your parents sometimes.
I shocked my parents a lot. But it seemed to be, it was like, you're born with a third arm.
Yeah.
Well, it seemed natural to have 3 arms.
So you were just able to do this, and so it has never seemed uncommon for you.
Or unnatural. No.
But a lot of people, and I work with a lot of cases that parents try to stuff this out when they're little. you know, they try to stifle these abilities.
Oh, mine did too.
They
It
say,
just
well,
didn't
you
work.
can't do that. People will think you're crazy or you're weird or working with the devil. You hear that a lot.
Well, I got called a witch a
A
lot.
witch, okay.
And I couldn't believe that because I was Baptist. But no, I got a lot of harassment growing up in school.
Uh-huh.
The other children, my peers, they were either afraid of me or they attacked me.
Oh.
And it was very, very difficult because I would know things and I did not know not to blurt information out.
You hadn't learned yet to keep it inside.
No, I didn't know. I couldn't tell the difference between psychic information and regular information, whatever that is. And I still have a hard time.
So anyway, the kids anyway were afraid of you back then.
Yes, they were. And that's when they started labeling me a witch. And in all truthfulness, Dolores, I didn't even know what a witch was.
I know even today, you know, both of us, people still keep thinking we work with the devil and everything, and that's as far away from the truth as you can get.
Well, I was so spiritual, even as a small child. I always believed in God. I always believed in Christ. I was just always naturally spiritual. And everything talked to me, plants, trees, animals, spirits. I was always just really, really connected. So I never got that dark side.
Uh-huh.
And so I didn't understand what that was even about. How could you use something that kind of came so naturally in any kind of an evil manner? I couldn't do harm to anyone. It was like doing harm to myself.
Yes, that's what we understand. We know anything you send out, you're going to get back tenfold. So
Well,
the
on
last
top of
thing
that,
you want to send out is negativity.
On top of that, I would feel it instantly anyway
Uh-huh.
because I was so empathetic to people and everything around me.
Mm.
So if I hurt them, I hurt me.
That's the way I feel about it. We're here to help people. We're not going to hurt anyone. But there's always those people who don't understand, and like we say, no amount of evidence will ever convince them anyway.
No, you've got your skeptics out there that are not really skeptics. They're just hard-headed, narrowed individuals that if you can't see it, it doesn't exist.
Yeah, and so we're not here to try to convince anyone anyway.
I'm not.
Me neither. That's what I've always told, with my work, that we just do it, and whenever people are ready, they'll start asking questions, and then we're there to help them.
Exactly. And, I'm not here to prove anything anyway. It's always been there. It's always been active. I've just simply gotten to a place where I can sort of work with it and use it to help others without it running me 24/7.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a better control over it, if you will.
Yeah.
So I'd be doing it no matter what.
You couldn't get out of it no matter what. Anyway.
No, never could. Tried.
Okay, well, I remember the last time we talked, you were saying that you worked at, 300 or 400 murder cases that you've been involved with?
Oh, yes.
You do about 1 or 2 a day?
Yes. Matter of fact, I did one today. I did one yesterday. It's just a daily thing. Although I will say, Dolores, it is very, very wearing.
I was going to say, wouldn't it be hard on you?
It
because
is.
didn't you tell me that you go through the same emotions?
Oh, I feel what the victim feels.
Uh-huh.
I see what the victim sees. And on top of that, if I touch into the energy of the murderer, I become one with the murderer.
That's not a very good place to be.
I'd almost rather be the victim.
Did you pick up on his motives?
His, hers, yes, absolutely. What they're thinking, why they're doing it, and how they feel about it. And
well, this is the reason the police have involved you so much. And on the court TV, they've been going into some of your better-known cases. Is that what it is?
These are the solved cases.
The solved ones.
That's the ones that have the perpetrator's been put in prison.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been absolutely proven out.
But some of the other ones that you work on every day, you're just supplying information.
Yes.
And you don't know for sure if they'll be caught or not. Is that what you mean?
Well, a lot of these cases I never get feedback on. I give them the information, and I never hear back whether the information worked, whether they arrested the individual. I never hear back.
Mm.
And that's frustrating.
It's kind of frustrating.
Yeah, it really is. And it works, it's even the same way with families.
But, you know, it might be that they're afraid if they do say where it came from, it makes them look bad. So maybe they just chalk it up to, well, we did some good police work, and we found these things out for ourselves.
I think they're also afraid for the public to find out.
Yeah, to keep from admitting they're working with a psychic.
Well,
you know? But, you know, nowadays, the way we have it on TV and there's so much out there about it, I don't think they'd be as afraid to do that as they used to be.
No, they're more open about it.
And they're not, it wouldn't be afraid of the, you know, what people were going to think.
Well, I've had police departments that I've worked with get flack from the public for working with me, saying that they were wasting taxpayers' money.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. But
well, you're breaking up a little bit.
I think there's a stigma that's attached.
What?
There's a stigma that has been attached to the word psychic.
Okay, I was saying you're breaking up. It's hard for me to hear you, like it's static in there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay. Let's say that over again, what you just said.
I think there's a stigma to the word psychic, and the police are a little reluctant because of the way the public reacts to the name psychic or to the word.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's just hope that the little gremlins are not playing with our telephones. We don't need that tonight anyway.
I don't hear any static on my end.
Are you hearing static?
No,
It's like it's breaking up on this end. But we'll just try to keep going and see what happens anyway.
Okay.
Okay, but do you want to tell us about you said you just filmed for the 6th one?
Yes.
For the court TV.
I had to go to Denton, Texas, where I worked a murder case that was totally unresolved. It was a missing person. Actually, it was a kidnapping.
Yeah.
And they did not know what happened to the young woman that had been kidnapped. And so the police called me in, and they flew me down there, and I worked with them for approximately a week. And the first thing that they did was they handed me, I don't know how many photographs, 16, 17 photographs of individuals.
Yeah.
And I told them who the individuals, who they were, and their relationship with each other, and those that were not included at all, that they had slipped in.
Yeah, just the bogus ones, you know,
Yeah.
just do it.
And then I picked out the murderer and his girlfriend. So then they took me to a parking lot where this girl apparently had disappeared, but they didn't tell me that it was the parking lot that she had disappeared from.
Yeah.
And when we got on the parking lot, I walked around a little bit, and then I got back in the car, and as we began to drive off the parking lot, I got shot in the left shoulder, and I screamed because it was real.
Oh, you mean you felt that?
Oh, yeah. And I kind of dropped down into the seat, which scared the detective halfway to death. And then I told him, all right, you need to turn right, because the girl seemed to come into me and began telling him which way to drive.
Uh-huh.
And took him straight to the location